Alright, let's talk air conditioning. So I have this LG, whatever. It's a 8,000 BTU unit, 6,000 BTU rated BTU. Here's the specs on it. Now you can have it this way, and then discharge the air, the hot air from here out. Like, figure something out, a connection that'll work from there to here, and then block off the rest of this for, block off the rest of the window, so you're not having all this air coming out, so you're not losing your air. Or we could turn this to the front, facing front, this, so the exhaust would be pointing this way, and then you can use the hose to snake it up to the top of your window here. So you'd only have to drop your window down a little bit and then put the window thing in and then block off the rest. Alright? So I did start off with this air conditioner here in the back. You're like, how about we just put it in the back? So I did have it pointed this way, or in here, with the exhaust pointing this way towards the fender wells. So I was like, well, I could just cut a hole in the fender well and discharge the hot air out that way. But here's the thing, is you don't want road debris from the tire getting in there. So another option is to turn it facing forward, discharging this direction, and run it out the back here. Cut a hole port here, and cut a hole here, and exhaust it out the rear. Or you could turn the air conditioner facing this direction and the exhaust going that way. In that instance, we would have to run it, the discharge line, underneath the bed, like so, right? So if we discharge it this way, it'd have to come out here. This is where it would exhaust, and we'd have to cut the hole right here where this handle is already at. Or you could go all the way through under the bed and discharge it out the side. So you'd have to cut a hole here and put a vent, but then you'll have parasitic drag on the outside of the vehicle. So the only two options for it would be, if you put it here, sure, you would minimize the amount of noise because the internal or the portable air conditioner is super loud. You've got all the moving parts inside the vehicle with you. I mean, you could segregate, like I've seen some people do with the Zero Breeze Gen 2, is they'll put a curtain up here and completely separate the front of the vehicle from the aft. And they'll use the discharge, the cold air discharge, they'll vent it into the back and just vent the hot air into the cabin here. Not my ideal situation, one, because if you put the discharge air heated up, it will do this. You see this? This roof had liner on it, and it's no longer there. Two, you have to remember, this is pulling humidity out of the air. If you're in dry, low humidity area, then you could probably get away with discharging it into the cabin, right? But if you're in a place that's humid, like in the south, 78% humidity, you're gonna have mold in this whole vehicle in a day or two. No lie. Mold is no joke. So this is how I have my window unit right here. The this $4.50 window mesh that I bought from Walmart, and the magnets, these neodymium magnets I got from Home Depot. I think they're like $6 for it. All right. So that is my air conditioning setup for having a portable air conditioner in here. The only other option I have thought of to make this thing work, and I mean for air conditioning, is to just go ahead and go with a window unit. The small 5,000 BTU window unit, the little small ones. Just set it right in here and make it work to fit inside this window space that you already have. Not only that, the smaller window units use less watts than this. This I think says 810 or 870 on the side. But I can assure you, when that compressor is starting up, it's pulling at least 1500 watts. Or at least that's what was showing up on my generator when I was pulling it. Alright. That's it for my portable air conditioner inside of a vehicle setup. Peace. There are some other things that I forgot to mention. For the discharge. So the discharge could theoretically go through a vent like this. Just put the adapter on there, take it from the air conditioning unit, run the discharge line through this, and out. That's if your air conditioner doesn't use a cabin filter, right? Also, that would only probably work in, a low humidity area. If you have humidity being pulled out of the atmosphere from your air conditioning unit and you try to blow it back through any one of your vents, even the one underneath the floor vent, right where your feet are, because that's what gives you the most airflow, the majority of the time is down there. Let me tell you something, you're gonna have mold inside your whole your vehicle, and you don't want that, right? Okay, so if you do run your vehicle, the discharge line out the window, and it does pull air in, you want to leave your vent open. So when it is pulling air, if it's not pulling air from around the leaky seals around your windows, it will pull it through your cabin filter because it's creating a negative pressure inside of the vehicle. So it has to pull it from somewhere. And if it's going to pull the air or whatever you want to call it, you want it to pull it through a filter. You don't want the air coming into your cabin to be, filled with dust and pollen. All right. You could, for venting, another solution was, say we had a max air fan or something here in the roof. You could always, since heat rises, you can vent it up through the roof, but you would have to either cut a hole or connect it to your max air fan. All right, I think we've covered everything for how to operate a portable air conditioning unit inside of your vehicle, right? We do know that it's noisy. 2, it consumes more power because it has to take air from inside the vehicle and blow it over the coils to discharge the hot air, right? 3rd, it creates negative pressure inside the vehicle. Negative, yeah. So it's pulling air in to cool the coils and then discharges the air out. So it's taking air that it's already cooled, blowing it across the coils and discharging it outside. Alright, that was the 3rd downside to it, is that if you have windows or leaks or anything around the house and you don't have a filter between the cabin and the unit, it's going to pull whatever outside inside. So we're talking air conditioning, right? We've been talking air conditioning. If you don't want to run your engine to turn the air conditioner inside your vehicle, you have to have another air conditioner, or we have to have a way to turn the air conditioner, right? We'd have to power the blower motor in the vehicle to blow the cold air in here, and we would have to have a way to turn the compressor out there. Maybe we would have to have water running through the radiator too. I'm not sure. But we would also have to have the fan motor spinning on the radiator, right? If you're wondering how I get my engine so clean, is I just use Dawn pre-diluted. I dilute Dawn, and I spray it on there, because Dawn gets rid of grease on your pans. It should be able to get grease off of your engine. And this is, so I've never cleaned the engine before, right? In all of its years. So what I do is I just get some Dawn and spray the Dawn foam on there every now and then, and it's slowly but surely cleaning the engine up. Alright, so back to air conditioning. Alright, the compressor is right there, right? Here's the air conditioner compressor. This is the alternator, and the compressor is underneath here. This is the air conditioning fan, and the other one, or no, this is the air conditioning fan, and this is the radiator fan. Anyways, I have 2 fans in here. They're both powered by 12-volt DC. We would have to have the fan powered on. We'd have to have a way to turn the compressor, and we would have to power the cabin air, right? The cabin air blower, the controllers would have to be working. This would have to be free spinning. We'd have to be able to spin the compressor. But here's the thing, is that the serpentine belt is connected to the alternator, to the water pump, and to the engine. Well, that's fine. We could bypass the alternator, we could bypass, we need to bypass the engine, we need to bypass the alternator. We could run the coolant. Sure, why not? If we wanted to run the engine coolant through here. But the air conditioner cooling is right here in the front. It's mounted to the front of the radiator, right? So we'd have to spin the compressor at least. and turn the fan. Turn the fan and turn the compressor and turn the cabin air blower on. And then we could have, if somebody could figure out a way to put that on a double pulley system, right? So whatever pulley's providing the torque at the moment to power the compressor, we would be set. Because it would free spin if it'd have to be connected to an electric motor. That's the only way I could think about doing this. So we'd have an electric and we'd have the gas powered one. So it would just split the difference. So whichever motor was providing the torque at the time, that would be the one that the clutch or clutch pulley maybe would engage the system. Anyway,
all right, we could put everything electric in here, so we could just remove the pulley systems altogether and just run a heavier
see if I can,
alternator.
Block this wind noise. So if there's no wind in this video, in this section of the video, then we know that the wind sock worked. All right, look at this beautiful scenery here. Air conditioning. Talk. Peace.